Does anybody have any proposed changes to the agenda? Nothing from staff? Anyone on the council? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Susan. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. All right, number 5, item 5 is announcements, correspondence. You have anything for
I
us tonight?
do. So we have a few counselors that will be up for election in November if they would like. So on your packets, you found some information. The first time we can start the process, you can turn in your application on June 3rd to me,
All
at
right,
the earliest.
thank you.
So what's the deadline for candidates to file for November?
August.
Yeah,
It's
I
on
think
there. The
it's, yeah.
first date's June 3rd, and the last date is August 25th.
Yes. And you have to have 20 signatures. Yeah. And one more thing too, may I add?
Yes.
That the council had asked about the past charges, kind of transactions on our reconciliations, and all of those have been cleared. So I was able to get a hold of the new auditor, and they understood how to get those all cleared. So
Okay.
that is all done.
That was in the QuickBooks when you did the printout. Okay, very good. All right, anything else?
That is all.
If not, we'll go to item 6. We have a presentation by Justin Ludwig, consultant for the Oregon Dunes Restoration Project. Take it away, Justin.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. My name is Justin Ludwig. I live in Florence. I moved here last summer, and I've been exploring the dunes with all the people who love to come here every year for tourism. We work with, we're a nonprofit. We work from Florence all the way down to North Bend to preserve and restore the Oregon dunes for the ATV riders, for environmentalists, and for tourists who love to come and visit our area. So one of the things we're doing is we're pulling invasive plants like gorse and Scotch broom, which are taking over the dunes. The dunes are getting smaller by about 50 feet per year around the perimeter. So that's something that we want to slow down and stop as much as possible. We're working with the U.S. Forest Service. We have a lot of grants. They're doing mechanical work, controlled burns. A lot of the heavy lifting is being done by the Forest Service and the Northwest Youth Corps. Those are all paid through for grants. But what we need help with is partnerships with local organizations and volunteers to go out for our work parties. The work parties are the easy part. We go out and pull the stuff that's near the roads or the parking lots, like the day use area. And this May 30th, we're doing a work party at the Exploding Whale Park in Florence. But we do them all along the coast every month. And they're all on our website, which are in the pamphlets I gave you at saveoregondunes.org. We also do field trips with the elementary schools from Mapleton, Florence, Reedsport, and North Bend. We have over 46 field trips planned this year and over 800 acres of planned treatment for the dunes area. This is the most acres that we've done in the last 6 years. So it's very exciting. We're in a building phase. We're doing a lot more this year than we have before. That's why I'm here to talk to you. I don't know if you guys have heard about this group before, but they've been working for over 6 years on this, and now we're doing more than ever. So I want to thank you for giving us time, and we have a short video just to explain some of the ecology and the history of the dunes, which you probably know. This
Anybody in the audience?
Yeah, I can get hold of the website, but can you
Yes.
tell me, how often you go out and who do I contact here in Florence?
Absolutely. Well, on our website, we have a newsletter, and it's once a month, we have work parties. This next one is May 30th.
Okay.
And then if you're a volunteer with a local elementary school, you're signed up to volunteer with schools. They do need chaperones.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were up here in the 50s, remember the white dunes? And my sister, every time she sees Scotch broom, tries to pull it. She
Oh, good.
loves Scotch broom.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Great.
Anybody on council, any other questions?
You know, I've lived here my whole life and I've seen the change.
Yes.
My memory is going down South Kitty Road and it ended right there at the facility, Camp Florence. And no road from there, just a little rise, and from there was no anything. It just, there were still whale bones out there, but it was flat, clear to the ocean.
Beautiful.
And that's long gone, obviously.
Yeah.
So, pretty sad, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are they burning off the grass?
The beach grass is what they do the controlled burns for, yes.
So how are they coordinating that with the birds that nest in there? Are they doing that often?
They have to do it during certain times of the year, yeah. So when they're nesting, like the snowy plover, they can't do it during certain periods.
So how often are they doing that? I've never seen them do it.
Oh, they do advertise it, the US Forest Service
Yeah, there was a
does.
big one last year.
Yeah.
I know there's been some fires that were started by other people, but
There was, I remember, a controlled one, I think at the end of the plover season in September, end of September, I think.
Yeah, they were trying to do one this spring too before it started, but there were some, I believe some winds and some other things that happened where they weren't able to, but they do have them planned.
have they been able to map any improvement in the dune? Or are we just holding steady or?
So they're working to preserve the best areas of the dunes. Certain areas are being improved, but a lot of them are still getting smaller.
I see.
Yeah, and they can't do them all. They just don't have the budget for it. But if we have more volunteers, you know, the more we can do.
So typically, burning grass promotes growth. How does that affect that beach grass? I mean,
The beach grass is something that's really not gonna go away ever. It's a constant battle, so they do whatever they can. They also do mechanical work where they'll go in and bulldoze a whole bunch of it and then bury it underneath. But like you said, it doesn't go away, and some of it can start to turn the sand into soil, so it's very difficult to work with.
I mean, the ideal would be to dig it up in a fashion and try and get as much of the root structure as possible out of it.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Mhm.
So the beach grass was actually a mistake.
Yeah, I remember when I
Bottom
saw
line,
it.
absolutely, it was a big mistake by the Bureau of Land Management or whoever did it.
They've done that up and down the coast. Other cities have had
Yeah.
issues with solutions from, 50 years ago that turned out to be bad.
Yes.
So has your organization been able to determine how much of this is a foliage problem and how much of it is ATVs? Because certainly they raise a havoc and our sand is all over our highways now. And that
Oh,
was
yeah. Well, we're working with the ATV companies
Yeah.
as much as we can because we have some shared interests in preserving the dunes. They need them just as much as anyone else for their business. So, they're helping in many ways. For some of the work parties, they'll get some volunteers on one of their big dune buggies and they'll get them out pretty far deep into the dunes where it would be much harder to get all our tools and equipment out there.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could restrict them to certain areas, so they're not in areas where, well, this highway right here pulling out of the Westlake Junction, where a lot of us here live, or North Beach, the sand is right across the highway a lot of the time. I mean, it's really become a problem.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if there were areas where maybe there weren't so many people where they could run, because they make a tremendous amount of noise too. And the snowy plover nest right here, they're a very special bird, I'm sure
Yes.
you know that.
Yes.
Right at the mouth of the Silkies outlet. And that's terrible that we have ATVs. They should be in that area, but we've all seen them there and we hear them.
Oh,
So, yeah.
okay. I
They
wasn't
don't
aware of
always
that.
behave themselves.
Oh, uh-huh.
All right, any other questions? All right,
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much, Justin.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good
And
evening.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
we
you.
can either share the link on our website, but We have a monthly newsletter as well.
Oh, wonderful.
I already put it down, I'll put that on.
Thank you
The
so much.
next one will go out the day after your next work party, but we could
Okay.
start, I'll take a look at those dates and we'll
Great.
mention those in the newsletter that goes out as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you very much.
All right, that takes us to item 7, citizens input. Does anyone have anything they want to speak on that is not on the next couple of agenda items? Anyone? Seeing no one? Chris? No? All right. All right, we'll go on to 8. 8A is Resolution Series 2026, number 3. Possible revision to the Dune City Public Records and Information Request. Our current schedule is from about 20 years ago. This has not been changed for 20 years. So our current cost for copies and labor is a little bit less than the actual cost of providing them. So there is a proposed schedule here that can be adopted by resolution. Anybody have any questions about the values? And we have some correspondence that says we might not be in compliance with Oregon revised statute, and we believe we are. We've done our research as far as what the statute says. There's a lot of entities. Some don't charge for certain things, some do, but we reviewed what Oregon allows and requires, and I believe we are compliant with. It's ORS 192, Public Records Law. It allows public body to establish a fee. It does obligate us to provide a cost estimate if there's a substantial request, if you believe it's more than $25, and we have done that in the past. And that's more of a policy than it is the actual fee schedule. And then the law requires that we make this fee schedule available to the public, and that's what we do. So we follow those steps. So anyway, we have a revised fee schedule in front of you, and if there's no questions, I'll get to the script to adopt a resolution. You have any questions, Stu?
No.
Comments? Susan? No. Chris? Nope.
My only suggestion would be that during the process, we adopt the suggestion from Holly that maybe the first 30 minutes is complimentary for public records search. That just means that we are making our government open and accessible, and I don't think a 30-minute period of time
And,
is excessive.
commonly, we don't charge.
Yeah,
So simple requests generally don't turn into this.
I know, I'm just saying, let's say it in here. Let's just say that we're gonna give you the first
Okay.
30 minutes, and it's not something that's meant to be additive. I don't wanna have somebody come in and say, okay, I wanna research paragraph 4B, that's 30 minutes, and then
Right,
paragraph
sure.
4C is another 30 minutes, and then paragraph 4D is another 30 minutes. You can't charge me. Just if somebody comes in and they want a copy of something, and it takes us up to 30 minutes, I think we can do that on a complimentary basis. Just my thought.
Okay?
Other than that, I think everything here's fine.
Okay. So, well, let's take comments from
I want to
the
make a
audience as well.
clarification.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this just basically says that there'll be a charge and that should have been enough, of $30 per hour for request requiring investigation or research by staff. So typically when someone comes in, if they ask for copies, then we typically would charge, and sometimes we don't. It just really depends.
Yeah, if they
yeah.
want 2 copies, we just hand them 2 copies. If they want a whole copy, a bigger document, there's no charge for labor, it's just a charge for the copies. So,
Right.
it's one of those when it turns into a substantial request and it requires pouring through, either searching the website or going into the old boxes. So,
Yeah,
I don't
so
know if we need
my
to add
thought
it to that.
again is if it takes us up to 30 minutes to research or investigate, that's beneficial to us as well. So I don't see a problem not charging people for the first 30 minutes. I just don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to investigate it and research it, well, then we should investigate it and research it. We should know what's in our own code. We should know what the answer to the question is. So if it takes research and investigation, let's give them 30 minutes of citizen benefit. Thereafter, sure.
Okay. Any, Jeannie, you wanted to speak on the other two items.
Yes, I assume you're talking about the other things first, because it's kind of way down on the
Well,
list.
yeah, no, we're just going in order, so I haven't got to that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. Did anybody else have a question or comment on this resolution, on the fee schedule? Any
Well,
comment?
I did write a letter, and I'm not going to read it.
Okay,
But I'm concerned about I think that we better spell out a little more clearly about this business about a lawyer. I think you should write it into this resolution. Don't just pass it the way it is. It needs a little work. And because at least it should state that you will be contacted saying that this is something that's going to require a lawyer and that we're going to have to charge you for it.
well, I think you would be contacting us, right? You'd be making a request, and if it was a legal review, you would definitely get an estimate back. If it's, I mean, I'm speaking for staff, but if it's something we can't answer, and it requires, in our case, LCOG, the Lane Council of Government, they have the planner and the mapping and the attorney. If we know we have to go to them, we would tell you that, and then
That's what,
We don't-
and I'm thinking it doesn't say that the way it's written.
it just says you
So
would
that's just an
reimburse if we had to. So we have no way of estimating,
You don't have to estimate, I mean, you could tell people that you're gonna get, that you could call people.
I think all you need to do is change that sentence to read with advance notice and estimate.
well,
Just
but
advance.
it's inherent in the process. This requires a form to be filled out to request something like that. It just wouldn't be a copy across the front counter.
No, I understand. So let's say that a citizen comes in and
Yeah.
says, I need this review, and we realize that it has to be reviewed by an attorney. Okay, we can call the law office and say, how much is it gonna cost to review this? Well, it's gonna cost $500. Then you give the person advance notice, this question will cost $500, which you will pay for us to initiate the search. They can say, I'm willing to do that, or I'm not willing to do it, and the matter is settled right there. They know in advance.
Except we don't get that. We'll get,
Well, we need to get it.
our attorney is 125 an hour,
I noted he's now
138.
60.
160 an hour.
Right, but how many attorneys will not give you an estimate? Okay, I think it's gonna take you 3 hours. If we don't have an
I
attorney.
don't think we ever did an estimate.
Well, we should be that, because when I work with my attorney, I ask him what things are gonna cost, and he gives me an estimate. If we're just writing carte blanche to our attorney, that's wrong.
No, it's not. These are open-ended.
No, not if it's open-ended. I mean, it's a simple question. If I call my attorney and say, I want you to write me a trust, he says, that's $1,200.
Sure.
If I ask him to research a question, he says, well, it's gonna be $120 an hour. Why don't we start with 5 hours, and I'll let you know if it's gonna go over that.
Well, our recent example would be, how long does it take to review a ballot initiative? No one knows until you see the ballot initiative and what it covers and what it entails.
Right.
So we couldn't get such an estimate. We got, yes, this
Okay.
requires a legal review.
Okay, so then that's what you
That's part of the
respond
code.
with.
And that's what we did.
So
Exactly.
what you could do is you could respond and say, we've checked with our attorney. He says this is a research question that will take an undetermined amount of time. He's $160 an hour. Do you want us to proceed?
Right.
Give the citizen that option to decide.
That's
yes
what
or
we
no.
do.
Okay, then it should say that. All I'm saying is if you add, is charge for attorney time with an advance estimate if possible in advance. Because right now people have no idea what it's going to cost.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what staff attempts to do. I mean, sometimes
Attempt and what's in the
it's
resolution are
impossible
two different
to
things.
estimate though.
I know, but people don't want to rely, our citizens don't want to rely on what the staff might do. They want to know what's in the code. The code should tell them they're going to get an advance estimate of what it's going to cost. It costs us nothing. We call the attorney, he's $160 an hour, he thinks it might take him 5 hours, or he doesn't know how long it will take. Do you want us to proceed? Simple question, simple answer. You give the citizen the information, the best information we have. That's all we can do. We can't give them a better idea But at least they ought to know that they're not writing a blank check for 50 hours at $160 an hour.
Right.
So that's how that works.
So I'm slightly confused. You're talking about in the,
Under personnel costs,
Okay.
a request requiring attorney review or assistance will be charged at the same rate the city is charged for attorney time with advance estimate if possible, and
Okay.
advance notice. So that's just a simple thing to do. So if a question comes to Lila and she says, boy, I can't do this, I'm gonna have to call the attorney.
or how about we add a sentence at the top that reads more like the statute that says, because it's not just attorneys, it could be just about anything.
Sure.
That was the example, right?
Sure.
So the statute says, Oregon public law, let's see, public body may not establish a fee greater than $25 without providing written notification of the estimated amount. So we could quote, add that sentence at the top, because it would cover,
Everything.
I mean, it could be an accounting question, it could be a legal question.
Could be a
it
civil engineer.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine.
Or a surveyor.
That'd be a good idea.
Okay, that makes sense. We'll just add that, does that make sense, Lad? We'll add that. So we have the schedule in front of you, so we can put that in a motion to add that sentence when we get to that. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, because the statute says, confirm the requester wants the public body to proceed with the public record. All right, any other comments or questions?
Could there be one from the audience?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just
just
want
hang on
to,
1 second. Anything, Susan, anything else? Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say in addition to what Geneva said and Larry said, yeah, another thing of concern is just getting information. I have been, Lila and Linda were very helpful the other day when I wanted some information for something I was researching. But they say it's very hard to find old records, and some of them may be across the lot,
Yeah.
in the storage unit. And so I was asking for something that was back in the 80s or before, and they had a hard time accessing it. And so are we going to be charged for the time it takes for people to access things when it's not our fault or everything scattered?
Well, potentially, if you're looking for something from the 80s, whether it's in there or out there, I mean, that's not going to be at anybody's fingertips. I think the bigger challenge the city has is from a records retention. A lot of records don't need to be retained that far back. There are permanent records, and then there are short-term, like a lot of them say, like when the project's finished, 3 years after the project's closed out, shred the records. So, it's one of the, it depends, right? Sometimes we can find it, but it takes quite an effort. And I guess it depends on the reason for the request. If it's directly related to an agenda item we're working on, I think I'm with you, Larry. We would all want to know that.
For the letter I
information.
wanted to write on you, I wanted it to be perfectly accurate. I wanted to know, what the record said, because I'm very careful with my writing. I went to college. I know you can't just randomly say something. You have to footnote it or give evidence. And, I just wanted to look up some old things that happened then that are very relevant to some of what's going on today. And that's why, because I wanted to have accurate information for all of you.
Yeah.
So some of the things that you were asking were about a fire that happened in
Yeah.
Westlake, and I don't know that the city would have that information.
Don't
I
you
mean,
find that bizarre? Was anyone ever on a fire department? The fire department doesn't know when when downtown Westlake burned, the tavern, the
Yeah.
Westlake. I mean, I called and even the fire station didn't know. I just found that odd because I thought maybe we would know right
Well,
here.
they probably don't retain records that far back.
Yeah.
Because the state has a records retention schedule that probably says
Yeah.
5 years after that fiscal year, whenever that
Right.
project was, when it happened, it'd be,
Yeah.
I guess my view is 30, you get 30 minutes, period. It's in the public interest not to spend an inordinate amount of staff time
Yeah.
looking for a needle in a haystack.
Correct.
So I think, you know, given the fact that there's some records over there, maybe they've been retained, maybe they haven't retained, maybe other agencies like the fire department have it or don't have it, 30 minutes is what you get. That's what we can do. That's in the public interest of everybody. it
And we
doesn't-
did that, we did not charge Jeannie
Yeah,
for.
it doesn't-
No,
doing
you
that
didn't,
research.
no, I'm not complaining, I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, it is listed that we may be charged for information, and I'm like, but how is that our fault that you don't have
It's not our
information
fault
at
either.
hand? I would think it might be on a computer what happened in Hayes,
Well,
for you.
a lot of times the answer is gonna be, it doesn't exist. And the only way to know that is to go poke it through the old boxes and see how far back we go, to try to answer that. There was also a comment in one of the correspondence that we've deleted things from the website, and now we have to manually search, and we haven't deleted anything. And Chris and I verified, we updated the website, everything that we ever had on the website was migrated. So, and then some, we've added all the old meeting minutes that are, you can search and sort online for years and years and years worth of meeting minutes. They're not necessarily convenient to search through the old stuff, but because the meeting minutes predate the computer, there's a lot of handwritten stuff that's been scanned, but it's there. It's not always easy to find, but it's, I mean,
Is
everything we
dated?
can,
That
we
was
share.
what I found curious, like, I will say this for Jamie Mills, she was very good about dating things, usually you knew when something happened, because she would date it. And also, her minutes were much more thorough than the minutes now, like, Geneva and I got a recent set of the minutes, that at one of the recent meetings said, Geneva read a letter. That was all they said about what Geneva
Right,
said.
because
She
we
said a
recorded
lot more
all
than
that.
read a letter. And it said that Rick and Watts and I, like we had arrived together, had asked when the next meeting is. I said a lot more than that, so did Geneva. So I just find those very, very sketchy minutes, but you're right, you can watch the program, and that's what I did. And it's tedious, but I watched them over and over again to
So-
take my own minutes.
That's that was a change the state made during COVID. So if you record a meeting, we do a summary now. So there's just a summary of the meeting, and then, yeah, you can watch the recording online for free.
Well, it's good that we have that, I appreciate it.
Can I add into that?
Yeah, please.
So we lifted and shifted everything from the old website. On the back end of the old website, it's just a huge file dump. It was not organized. So that got shifted. We did not spend, weeks going back and re-inventorying it, but it's there. That being said, if you see something specifically that you want to tweak on the website, like, we're happy to take input. And the user interface isn't clear, something's hard to find, we can adjust it. Like, we own it, we can adjust it. But, yeah, bring your input, let's make it better.
I appreciate your efforts, but it just used to be hard, a little easier to find things, and it's
Well-
more challenging now.
The old website just listed everything from 2000 in one endless scroll.
Yeah,
That now we have it with like drop downs, you can select the year that you're looking
Yeah.
for, you can search for things with it actually built in the search finder. So we try to make it easier than just endlessly scrolling through 30 years of documents. But
All right, any other comments? Any comments on the actual price per page or the hourly rate? These are more or less reflect current cost of our copier contract and our staff.
Honestly, I didn't really change it, I took off floppy disk and CD-ROM. That's really what I did. Yeah, I just copied the other one, so,
Okay.
and I did increase one fee, yes.
Okay, if there's no other comments, I'll go to the script to adopt a resolution. This would be Resolution Series 2026, number 3, May 6, 2026. A resolution amending, or actually, we're going to change that. A resolution repealing and replacing Resolution 110906, a resolution in determining Dune City Public Records / information request policy. Oh dear, I should have read this a minute ago. I will now open this agenda item for public comment at about 6:25. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to comment on the resolution? I think we got all the comments. All right. I will close the public comment period at 6:37. I will entertain a motion to amend the language of the proposed resolution, if any.
I'll make the motion to accept Resolution Series 2026, number 3, with the change in the sentence that should be of instead of or, and also to add a single sentence that the first 30 minutes of research time for public record requests will not be charged, and any subsequent fees will reflect actual recovery costs, with anything over $25 meeting an estimate of total charges in advance,
If possible.
if possible.
Okay. Would anyone like to second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to say, I will now, no, I did say that. I entertain the motion to adopt resolution 2026, number 3, by Larry, second by Duke. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I screwed that up. Oh, it's a roll call vote. Duke?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Thank you. Rich? Aye. Chris?
Aye.
Larry?
Aye.
Thank you, it's unanimous. Sorry, I bungled that twice. All right. Resolution 2026, number 3, passes. Item B is Resolution Series 2026, number 4, repealing Resolution Series 2022, number 7. So a little bit of history. There was some grant money given to the city, which went to the Fern Acres water system, increased storage and,
New water tanks.
yeah, the water tanks there and storage for that neighborhood system. And at the end of that, there was a resolution introduced that said the city would take over that system at some point as the beginning of a public water system. And no transfer has ever occurred. Fern Acres continues to operate the system. The city has not participated in that whatsoever. And that came to our attention that it said we were taking it over these 3 years later, 4 years later, and we had not done anything. So our advice was repeal it, leave it alone. We've got an email from Fern Acres that says we continue to operate it, the neighborhood continues to operate it and owns the infrastructure. So we propose to repeal that resolution, if that makes sense. I will jump into the script so I don't screw it up again. Resolution Series 2026, number 4, May 6th, 2026, a resolution to repeal Resolution Series 2022, number 7, which had authorized the city administrator to accept ownership and control of the Fern Acres water system. I will now open this agenda item for public comment at 6:39. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment on the resolution?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Does it
Chris?
make sense that the city subsidized or paid for that system in anticipation of owning it? And in the end, thought there was
We got some special grant money that year because of COVID, and it said we could help with water systems was part of that. And because their system went down, we used that grant money that we got to help them out. But that was just because we got the grant money, and so the city really didn't own it. It was just grant money the state gave us for COVID.
do you know how much that was off the top of your head?
We used a lot of it, that we got quite a bit, it was like $300,000, but we used it on several
Community
water
systems,
systems,
yeah,
community
we go to community
systems
systems.
across the area, because there are several water systems in the area. We used it on several that year to help them out.
Yeah. I was a recipient of it, I'm part of the Fern Acres, and I went 2 years without water
Right.
Wow.
at my house.
So it wasn't just
And
Fern
then
Acres?
it completely failed, the lines, we had 6, 7 ruptures, a year, roots, it was destroyed.
So we kind of, because we could use it on water systems, we helped all the water systems in Dune City that said they had an issue that year. Or actually, it took a couple years to spend all the money,
Yeah.
but that's what we did with that, the funds that the state gave us for COVID.
And are the systems maintenance being tracked and done on a monthly basis at all, or is it just gonna fail again in another 10 years?
The system they put in was top notch. I watched them, it was incredible. They buried deep below the root mass. Bigger, way bigger line, matching line. We had, everywhere you dig down, you'd hit some other kind of Mickey Mouse setup, and this was all, it's excellent. I love it.
Thanks.
Nice.
Any other questions or comments from the audience? Okay, I will close the public comment period at 6:42. Councilors, I will, any other comments from the council?
Should I vote on this since I'm recipient of it?
You're asking me? I'm not an attorney. I just don't want you getting in
I mean,
trouble.
I'm glad I have it, and,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you were.
we have meetings.
You didn't get to vote on it at the time.
No,
You were a
I didn't.
recipient, we're just rescinding the old motion. I
Yeah.
mean, you've disclosed that you live there. I mean, out of an abundance of caution, if you want to abstain, I wouldn't blame you. But that's your call, because it's to not take an action as a city,
Right.
right? I mean, our previous city administrator started the process with a resolution, but it didn't go anywhere. So there's no financial impact to any of us, or benefit, but, good question. I'll leave that to you. But,
It doesn't take a vote from me. I think I'll set it out.
okay,
Yeah.
Picture, 120.
all right.
What is it a year?
I will, does anybody have any comments on the resolution, the language itself? It's pretty simple. Okay, then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for a resolution to repeal Resolution Series 2022 number 7, which had authorized the city administrator to accept ownership and control of the Fern Acres water system, otherwise now known as Resolution Series 2026 number 4.
Thank you. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. And this will be a roll call vote. Duke,
Sustain?
abstain? or-
Abstain, whatever it is.
Abstain, thank
I'm
you.
not an attorney.
Duke will abstain. All right, Susan,
Yay.
thank you. Rich? Chris?
Yay.
And Larry?
Yay.
All right, thank you. That is otherwise unanimous, and that passes. Okay. Next, we have the annual oh, wait a minute, my order. Is fireworks the next one on the agenda?
No.
Gas tax.
Sorry. Get this out of order. CE. Okay, Resolution Series 2026, number 5. This is a resolution declaring the city's election and qualifications to receive state gas taxes, cigarette taxes, and liquor taxes pursuant to ORS 221.760. That statute requires the city to do an annual before the start of the next fiscal year to be eligible to accept those dollars from the state. So I will open this agenda item. This is 2026 number 5. I will open this at 6:45. Does anyone in the audience have any comments or suggestions? Seeing none, I will close the comment period at 6:45 and a half. Do any of the council have any questions? Okay, and this is purely administrative. They tell us what to say, and then we're eligible to get a check in the mail, so. I will now entertain a motion to adopt Resolution Series 2026 number 4 on May 6, 2026.
So moved.
I think it's number 5, but.
You know what, you're right. In the script, I've got 5 at the top, 4 in the body.
Oh, it's number 5.
5. Thank you, Chris. Resolution Series 2026 number 5. Motion to approve by Susan. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. And I need a roll call vote. Duke?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Thank you. Chris?
Aye.
And Larry?
Aye.
Thank you, that is unanimous, and that passes. Okay, that takes us to the follow-up discussion on fireworks. So we had, you had some input, Larry, when we were talking about this, we put it on the agenda, and we had a pretty good discussion a couple of weeks ago, and without putting words in anybody's mouth, this was not all that popular. It's for a variety of reasons. But out of professional courtesy, we agreed to put it back on here before we took action in case you had anything else you wanted to cover. But we had some good comments that we called the fire department. In the records that they had, they said there was possibly one brush fire started by fireworks that they knew of in Dune City in the, I don't know, probably what, last 5 years, 4 years, whatever they could go backwards to. That it was our 250th birthday this year, and this would probably be a lousy year to do this if we were gonna do it. And so we agreed to not take any action, but, you know, we're here for any additional comments, so.
Okay.
You're up
I
first.
thought from previous conversations that it was popular, but if it's not, whatever the council deliberates, it's fine.
Okay.
I think we could propose the ordinance, and if it doesn't get a second, or if it doesn't get the votes, at least it's an action item that we covered.
Right, we did. Any other comments, Ty? Rich? And it did allow for the professional, either way, it wouldn't affect like a 4th of July display at Darling's.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good show at Darling's.
Yeah.
So the question is, do we want to see it on an agenda as an ordinance?
Right, so this was the end of the discussion, because the ordinance would then have to be noticed and published, and so I guess we take a straw poll on this. Do we even go through that effort to advertise it and put it on a future agenda? So I'll just run down the list. Would you like to see this back, Duke?
No.
Okay, Susan?
No.
Rich?
No.
Chris?
No.
Okay. Larry?
Doesn't matter.
Well, Larry, it matters to us. A lot of people in the audience agree with you.
All right, no worries.
A lot of them didn't.
Okay, thank you. All right, busy agenda. All right, that takes us to 9A, ordinance 277, the business license chapter. So we have gone through this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Douglas Fastnet. Thank you, Susan. Council President is on her toes as usual. You have an agreement in front of you for another fiber optic company or data company that would like to come to Dune City. So this is substantially the same as the one we've just gone through with fine-tooth comb for Hayek. There is a revision. Hayek planned to come past City Hall, so we got free service to City Hall when they get here. So that is stricken in this one. And we also struck the first payment. These guys, I think, have a different schedule. So anyway, there's two sections on page 6 and 7 that were stricken. Otherwise, it's the same from a right-of-way use perspective and that sort of thing. And all those terms were reviewed and approved by attorney with Hayek in the last 6 months. So this is relatively recent. So
why was the first one stricken? Can you explain that to me?
I think they struck it, and I don't know.
They struck
I
it.
don't think they have plans to move as fast. I don't think there would be any revenue in the first 6 months, and so they proposed to strike it. But that's a good question.
Well, because there wasn't revenue from Hayek either, but that's why we did the 250.
Right. No, that's a good comment. Do you have any idea what their schedule is?
No, but I can ask.
We can ask before we take action if that's, if everybody agrees.
Or we could just put it back in and then
You tell them that's how it was approved,
Mhm.
and if they don't sign it, then
Then we come back with another one, an
we
option.
could do that too. We could unstrike it, if that's your suggestion, or cancel it.
Why, that's what we did with the last company.
Right.
So I don't understand why you treat people differently.
That they did.
I agree. Well, if the issue is they don't plan on moving that fast, then wait until it matters and then file for a franchise.
Right, otherwise pay us the $250
I
every
agree.
quarter. It's not that much.
Okay, let's unstrike the yellow on page 6.
Can I also suggest that franchise be spelled correctly at the bottom of each page?
Oh, Larry.
Come on. French shoes?
It's the French way of,
Oh, Francois.
you're right, it's spelled different at the top. That's a good, yeah, as long as we're changing the page.
CH.
Okay, I didn't write this, just so you know.
Yeah.
I did not write this.
We paid extra for this.
It's not in Italian either.
There you go, it is not in Italian.
Good catch. I looked at all the big bold stuff, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so we'll spell franchise correct at the bottom of the page. We will add back in the stuff that's in yellow at the bottom of page 6, and we will ask for $250 a quarter, or 5% gross revenue, whichever is greater once they get started,
There they go.
and send it back to them. And any other questions?
So what is it, are they a competitor of HiX?
I think so, yes. Yeah, so I guess it depends on how fast they roll out. And the way most of this stuff works, somebody else owns that backhaul fiber, and then once it gets close, they all start selling it. So, but I know Hayek's getting close. They came down Canary, and they built a big cabinet, and I think they've done some work on Clear Lake, so one of these days we'll see that.
Well, and it's taken them quite a while to get to Dune City too, and
Yeah.
they've been paying us $250, so if it takes them, maybe it will motivate them to do it
Yeah.
faster.
If nothing else, it's fair.
Yeah,
It's,
agreed. Any other comment? And
Can't blame them for trying.
is this, Jeannie, is this one you wanted to speak on? Or have I got to it yet?
Well, if you're talking about the letter I sent, that is really for you guys to read, because I think it's things you need to know and seriously consider if you want to move forward with your plans.
Oh, no, we're still talking about the fiber optic agreement. I just want to
Okay.
make sure I didn't miss it.
No,
Any comments on
Yeah.
Douglas?
no.
Anyone else? It's a franchise agreement for another possible internet provider coming to town.
So this doesn't require any further action by us?
No,
Okay.
because I'll take it back to them.
Okay, so you'll say it was approved with council with a revision, and then if they won't accept, we'll hear.
Okay.
Okay. So given that, I need a motion to approve franchise agreement with revisions as discussed.
so moved.
Thank you. I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Duke. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I think that was unanimous. All right, that was unanimous. Okay, now that takes us to 9A, ordinance 277, the business license chapter. So we had the discussion, we got comments. I think we've incorporated everyone's comments. We did the markup version because you were out of town when we had that discussion, Susan, so this shows all the put-ins and the take-outs for review. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to start the script so I don't get this out of order. All right, this is ordinance 277, an ordinance to amend chapter 120 within Dune City Code of Ordinances entitled Business Licenses and all matters properly relating thereto. City recorder, have all requirements for posting and advertising been met?
Yes.
Thank you. Does any counselor desire the ordinance to be read in full? Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to read the ordinance by title only.
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Susan. All those in favor of reading the ordinance by title only?
Aye.
Thank you. I believe that is unanimous. I will read ordinance 277 by title only. An ordinance to amend chapter 120 within the Dune City Code of Ordinances entitled Business Licenses and all matters properly relating thereto. I will now open this agenda item for public hearing at 6:57 p.m. City Recorder, have you received any written testimony to be incorporated into the record specific to ordinance 277?
No,
Okay.
unless it was in those other letters, but I don't think that they talked about this one.
I agree with you. I don't think anybody mentioned 277. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to ordinance 277, the revisions to the business license chapter?
Yeah. I think it needs to be put in there, plain and simple, that anybody doing work in Dune City needs to have a Dune City business license.
Thank you. And that was Pam, for the record. So we currently have, what page is that on? We have what I call, for lack of a better term, high-risk businesses. We already had licensed contractors, and we added pressure washing, window washing, anybody that might use a forklift, a man lift, a ladder. Because the business license would get us liability insurance, we require liability insurance to get a business license, so that would protect our homeowners. And that's how we established the list that's in here.
Where does landscaping fall in there? I mean, there's a lot of that.
Landscaping's in here. Landscaping, lawn care, we're already in there.
Okay.
So there were some possible exemptions. The state talks about what a handyman is versus a licensed contractor. We said it's both. And then it didn't cover things like window washing and pressure washing. And when someone's pressure washing a second floor roof, the fear was if they fell off the roof and weren't properly insured, your homeowner's insurance was going to get a letter from somebody. So this was to protect the residents from things like that. And we do see a lot of that, you know, a truck and trailer with a pressure washer out driving around offering services. So I appreciate the comment, Pam.
But because some of those window washers don't have CCB or other state licensing, they don't feel like they should have to have a Dune City business license.
Well, they're spelled out now. Window washing is spelled out now. And pressure washers added as a category.
It should be anybody doing work in Dune City for profit or
Understood?
for public should pay a license. Because that covers all bases.
Yeah.
Mayor?
Yes,
Can I
sir.
ask Pam?
Yeah.
Pam, is your reason for wanting that, is it, you see a lot of people sliding around and,
Yep,
yeah, that's what I thought, because I've seen that, you know,
yep.
you see the same people out there, they go, well, I'm just, you know, doing friends work or something like that, so I understand your point.
Yep, they're not licensed, bonded, insured.
It's a risk.
So I think the challenge is if we say anybody, it gets into things we've never had on our list, like home occupancy,
Oh, house watching,
buying and selling, you know, if you work from home on a computer or whatever, but if there's any sort of money changes hands, whether it's online or wherever, it would then cover, it would also cover, or does it cover food delivery services that come to Dune City, you know, the
Right.
pizza guy.
right, yeah.
Lemonade stand.
Usually, if it's kids at a lemonade stand, they're exempt, but yeah, when you say everybody, exactly, it's like, where does it begin and end? And so we've we've looked at what, I mean, the discussion was the high risk, and, so, we can edit that list
You know,
if,
I think this
if there's a
does
desire.
pretty good on actual working. You don't want to get into pizza delivery in a 15-year-old
I'm
kid
fine with that
mowing
too.
somebody's yard.
Right,
You know.
right, a kid mowing the neighbor's yard versus a landscaping
Right,
business.
yeah. And there was abuse in the past, but I think just, even since we've established it, I think it's helped.
Okay.
So I think this will help more.
Generally, most places, deliveries and whatnot, like FedEx and UPS and pizza delivery, generally those aren't required. That's a whole different deal than doing work for somebody.
Right, yeah.
Any other comments from the audience? Go ahead,
A
Rapunzel.
question, you deleted home occupations as being exempt, so now a license is required for a home occupation?
No, because the businesses affected are 120.70. And so we were, because we had two different sections that talked about who was included, and so we're deleting one area because it was confusing, and the businesses affected are 120.70 on page 14.
Yes.
No one else needs. And then there's a list of exemptions, food deliveries, and then we're silent on some others. So no, the intent was not to have home occupancy.
So the intent is to be silent on home occupations?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And just those that are listed. Any other comments from the audience? If not, I will close the public hearing at 7:03. And I would entertain a motion to change or amend the language of ordinance 277 as presented if any of the council want to.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve as amended,
As published?
as published, yeah.
Okay.
The amendment.
Because we didn't post, yeah, I mean, these amendments, right? We didn't change it tonight. Okay. Understood? We have a motion from Chris and a second from Rich. All those in favor? Oh, wait a
Hold
minute.
on, have to have conversation.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to ask a question. So if I have a friend that I pay to come over to my house and cut my grass,
Yep.
do I need a business license?
Well, you wouldn't as a homeowner.
My
ever.
friend would need one.
I think in this definition, if you are that's a good question. Do they do this for all your neighbors or just for
No,
you?
just me.
Then I would say no, but I'm just the mayor, I'm not the.
Okay, well, that's why I'm asking,
Yeah.
because, you know, if you have a Boy Scout come over to your house and
Right.
cut your grass, or you have a friend, or maybe you know somebody who's out of work, and they come over
Right.
and cut your grass for you, I totally agree with the high risk thing, but lawn care to me doesn't seem like high risk.
Yeah, and that was meant for lawn care businesses and people that
Right.
potentially turns into tree pruning and.
Right, and I don't care which way the code goes, I just wanna know if I need a license or not, and who gets the license. So, in the
Right.
context of the conversation we had, if you are a licensed landscaper, you have to be registered with the landscaper contractors board, right?
Right.
But if you are just somebody doing lawn care, you don't need to be licensed, insured, or bonded, okay?
Right.
So, if you had somebody come to City Hall and say, all I do is cut grass, I'd like a business license, we could not require them to be licensed, bonded, and insured. We cannot require that, it's not required by state law. So my question is,
Well, we do, just in here, if you're a
well,
full-time lawn
okay,
care business.
right, if you're a full-time lawn care business, I don't have a problem with that. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, if we have my cousin come over, or my friend come over, or Boy
Right.
Scout, or I even have Camp Florence folks come over and do stuff for me, do I all of a sudden need a business license? That's what I'm asking. Because for simple lawn care, you know, lawn care is raking up leaves and mowing the grass and bagging up the clippings and
Right.
putting them away. That's about it. You know, if somebody's up on a ladder cleaning a rain gutter, that's a totally different story.
Right.
So I just want to know what the answer to that is.
Like personally, my interpretation of this is, it's a matter of scale. And we can't write in every possible, like, if you do 3 lawns per week, then you're under the threshold. If you're over, then you're a business and you have a license. I think it's gonna be a case-by-case basis
Right.
where we apply common sense. And
Sounds
if Igor's around and sees the same truck, you know, servicing multiple yards every week, then that's an issue. But Because nobody complains, because it's just you hire
Well,
your neighbor. Yeah.
I have a friend that I pay to come up and mow my grass. I was in the Philippines for 3 weeks, he came over and took care of the yard. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm following the law. I don't want somebody
Right.
later to say, well, you're a city councilor, and you're violating the code. We're all, you heard me here, I'm asking, I'm happy to pay for it if we need it. But I think it's difficult to say to somebody who's cutting one person's grass
Right.
that they need to come down and be licensed
Oh,
and
agreed.
insured.
Sure.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mow a little piece of my neighbor's yard for free.
Oh, well,
And her other neighbor around the corner, he mows the front yard. He's got a riding mower, so
yeah.
he does more than I do.
And if I kill the moles in your yard, is that a high-risk endeavor? So anyway, I just asked that. I don't
No, it's a
know-
good question.
I don't know if it needs delineation.
I think that's a case by case. I'm with Chris, you know, if you show up in a truck and a trailer with magnets, you probably need a business license.
Right, I
If
totally
you show up
agree.
on a 10-speed and use your lawnmower.
Yeah, it's always a problem.
Or whatever, yeah, I think that's pretty safe.
Yeah,
To say no.
okay, well,
And at least, I mean, that's, our record will reflect that, right? That's sort of the legislative intent is full-time businesses.
You're for hire.
But your next door neighbor coming over or a friend or whatever, yeah, I don't think that was intended to cover that.
excellent.
Okay. Good question, good comment. So we have a motion and a second. Let's see. It says take a vote as I normally would. So do I need a roll call vote? Okay, all those in favor, one at a time. Duke?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
And Larry?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Now, we'll entertain a motion to have a second reading of ordinance 277 by title only.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Susan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I will do a second reading of ordinance 277 by title only. An ordinance to amend chapter 120 within Dune City Code of Ordinances entitled Business Licenses and all matters properly relating thereto. I will entertain a motion to accept the wording for ordinance 277 as presented in the first reading and to adopt and pass ordinance 277. Any motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Susan.
Second.
Thank you, Rich. And a roll call vote. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Duke?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
And Larry?
Aye.
All right, thank you. The motion passes. Ordinance 277 is hereby adopted and will become effective 30 days from today's date. So June the 5th. Right?
Yes.
6th will be the new business licensing category, so we'll have time to send out notices if necessary. All right. Okay, next item. Chapter 155, Land Use Code, continue. As a reminder, this is Land Use Code, a Type 4 legislative amendment to Chapter 155 of the Dune City Development Code. If approved, the amendments will be adopted via Ordinance 275. The Planning Commission recommended approval and adoption of the amendments with revisions as noted. City Council is reconvening the public hearing tonight to continue the hearing from the April 15th meeting. The hearing is open and oral and written comments will be accepted. Before we begin, so there's some stuff we covered the night we started this, and I'm going to cover it again because I think two of you weren't here when I read this. So I'll go over it again. State law requires decision makers be impartial. Does any counselor wish to make any disclosure or abstain from participating or voting on this application because you may gain financially as a result of this application or you own property within the area entitled to receive notice of this hearing, you have direct private interest in the proposal, or because you have determined that you cannot be impartial. And we all own property within the area, and I handed out 2 case histories that city councils, by the very nature, live within the city that they work on, and they can take action because they're part of the larger class of residents that live here. Is there anyone that believes they cannot be impartial or shouldn't participate? Seeing none, does any counselor need to declare any conflict, written or otherwise, with any other party involved in this hearing or any source of outside information regarding the subject of this hearing? Seeing none, does anyone present in the audience present have an objection to the city council's jurisdiction or impartiality? Go ahead.
Yes, I would just say yes only in that, I mean, you all read the letter. I have concerns about what I am discussing. I have discussed it numerous times and still will not take out of the ordinance. I think that is not a good thing to do right now. It needs further discussion and investigation, and it certainly would benefit certain people. Now, I have nothing against those people. I just want this to be thoroughly investigated and thought about before you just pass it like it's nothing, because it's a huge thing. And developing property that the city calls theirs really concerns me, because the back lot of my property you're now saying is yours, and Jamie Mills deemed it commercial, even though Susan had voted that she thought it should be private. Why is that commercial? And that was my concern. I don't want, to have ATVs in my backyard and that's a rental. Or, I mean, it really concerns me that you are giving yourselves the right to do that. And I think those are very concerning things. There's a lot that is concerning on the ordinance. But you have my letter. I didn't want to embarrass some of you by reading it out loud, but I thought you really need to know that information, because a lot of these things, especially those of you who just moved here a few years ago, may not be at all aware of. And I think it's important that you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do any counselors have any questions for staff before we begin? If not, we left off on page
Top of page 16.
16. Oh, good. We agree on that. All right, we'll go back to page 16. And I can promise you, Mrs. Jackson, we are not rushing through this. We are only on page 16 of a substantial document. And it's proceeding slowly at this point. All right. All right, comments or revisions on 16? Anyone?
There was a comment on the definition of lot that was in the memo. Let me read that.
That's not been incorporated.
Right.
Okay, yes, please.
They're saying that the first sentence is technically incorrect, as ORS 92.010 stated that partitions create parcels, not subdivisions. The following sentence provides the necessary clarification for the general use of the term throughout the ordinance. So to me, that's saying to strike that first sentence. And lot, and the definition of lot.
This is from our attorney?
This is a combination. And Rapunzel is suggesting to delete that first sentence too.
I got you.
So this is a combination of questions that were brought up at the planning commission and that
Right.
were presented to the attorney. And then this is, again, just a compilation of all of that.
Okay.
It's on page 2 of that memo. Do you have that memo?
I think so. I have a lot of stuff.
I know. I have one here if you need it.
Lot. First sentence technically correct. State partitions create parcels, not subdivisions. Oh, so start where it says Dune City Code. That's the second sentence. Is that what you
I
mean?
think it says for purposes of
purposes.
Dune City Code, yes, start there, yes.
Yeah, I got you. For purposes of Dune City Code, the term lot and parcel may be used interchangeably and are used to describe a lawfully established unit of land pursuant to 92.192. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're striking the words, "a single unit of land that is created by a subdivision or partition of land." Strike that.
That is the suggestion.
Okay, I agree with that. Any other comments? Okay. All right, strike that. Did you have any other comment there? You good? Okay. All right, let's go to 17. We're zooming now.
That's where you and I are. Your page is rear. Okay.
Okay. Lot coverage, the comment was,
Okay, gotcha.
usually lot coverage is restricted to structures. Ours says all impervious, including patios, driveways, sidewalks, etc. Is everyone comfortable with that? Or do we want to say structures? Just structures? Which is typically what you look at when you look at a new site plan with if there's a lot coverage, maximum, you're looking at the structure.
Yep.
Not, the sidewalk out front or any landscape pavers or anything like that.
Just physical buildings.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, restrict to structures. So we'll change it to say the area of a lot covered by structures instead of impervious surface. Everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. You got that, Lila?
I do.
Any other comments on the rest of the page? We didn't have any other suggestions in the memo. If not, we'll go to 18. And we have a comment. We need to put manufactured dwelling back. So it could simply refer to ORS 446.00319A. That is the exact definition by state law of a manufactured dwelling.
So we have manufactured home there, so.
Is that different?
That's my question.
At the bottom there. Rapunzel, do you know, does the state consider manufactured home the same as manufactured dwelling? But we need the definition of dwelling because that's what's in state law. Are they the same?
You mean the term dwelling is the same as home?
Yeah, in this case.
The state uses dwelling.
Okay,
Most
so,
of the time.
so we should reinsert dwelling, and it's manufactured home that's redundant, not dwelling, if that makes sense.
Right above that, the manufactured dwelling part, that all says dwelling is.
Exactly.
manufactured home.
And I think that's what state definition, so we would reinsert manufactured dwelling, and we don't need to put all the words, we can simply refer to the state definition because it's a term of law.
So then we need manufactured.
So manufactured home, what's written there, does not need to go up to manufactured dwelling?
Home is a
Well,
dwelling.
why
I don't think so, because that's the same as C under manufactured dwelling. Manufactured home is structure considered for movement.
Why don't you just
Highway.
change manufactured home to manufactured dwelling?
And let's see,
Then move that up.
And say per ORS 446-003-19A. Right?
or just change the word home to dwelling.
Right, but we've got to add that, it doesn't have that citation to the
Oh.
state law.
Okay.
So we'll put that because then it agrees with state law, whatever the state law, if they add any
Okay,
terms
so
to that.
change home to dwelling.
There you
and
go.
add that to ORS 446.003, right?
Yep, we'll put that right at the beginning, per ORS 446.
And do we need the state as well? We want to continue to state a recreational vehicle is not a manufactured home. Right? That's the last sentence in that?
Right. Yes, yes, because it gets a license plate, not
Right.
not an inspection through the housing people. Okay. Any other comment there? That works. That takes us to the bottom of 18.
Can we restate that, because I was writing?
Yeah, so instead of reinserting manufactured dwelling, go to manufactured home and change it to manufactured dwelling. And then I put it at the beginning, but you can put it anywhere. Just put per ORS 446.003, open paren 19, close paren, open paren, little a, just like it has in the memo. That's the state's definition, and then say, then it starts a structure constructed for movement on the public highway that has sleeping.
Gotcha.
The stuff in blue, leave the stuff in blue, and it is not a recreational vehicle, so that should all work.
Gotcha.
That's essentially what we have in the beginning of dwelling park. It also references, it doesn't get into the paragraphs, but it references that ordinance
Yeah.
or the ORS.
Right, the same section, yeah. Okay,
And I would move, since the park is after us, put manufactured dwelling before
yeah,
manufactured.
and alphabetically we go above it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Anything else? That takes us to 19, and Jeannie, you had the speaker card for this 155, so if we get to when we get to one of those specific items you're concerned about, please raise your hand.
I just wasn't sure exactly what it was you'd be talking about, and I wanted to leave it open that I could talk about either one
You
you
bet.
brought up.
And we're going page by page,
If
so
something was relevant.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wasn't sure what you'd be covering.
you brought up that other definition about the wetlands, and I didn't have that page when you said it was item 8. Anyway,
Yeah, I
so we'll get
actually-
to that.
I did, if it helps you, I have the number now.
I do too. And
Okay.
so I got my page in here now. There were two of us missing that page. We were on different versions.
Well, I
So-
think it was unfortunate we had a number of different copies, not just the planning commission.
Yeah,
and
this has been
council,
around a
but
while.
others too, so
Yes.
I'm glad we're getting in sync.
All right, so we're on page 19.
Yes.
Anything? It's mostly strikeouts. Next item in the memo is multifamily dwelling. Any comments on 19 before we go to 20? Okay, multifamily. There's a little narrative in the memo, but it says it's okay. It is an accurate description, so multifamily is okay. The blue language there, structure contains up to 4 dwelling units. Any comments on 20, page 20?
On where it says non-native invasive plants,
Yep.
should we even have area in there or should it just say for Dune City? Because we're only dealing with Dune City, we're not dealing with the area.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Dune City limits is, in Dune City. Sure, period. That's fine. Strike the word area.
Maybe just take out the word the, just for.
Dune City.
Dune
Yeah.
City.
There you go. Got that, Lila? Anything else on 20? Seeing nothing? 21?
So I assume we're looking at ordinary high water, ordinary low water.
Ordinary high water.
So when it's, the only question I have is, at this point, with this definition, is taking us 12 feet above mean sea level. Do you have anything really definitive that validates that number?
Yes.
It should be in
Did
here.
you get my slideshow? It was when you were on vacation. I handed out a slideshow with color pictures and everything.
I think it's in this package.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
here too.
Is it in here?
Yep.
It's all over in here.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
so do we have something definitive? All I need is a yes.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
And it's, yes, and there's, there was some confusion about, where we were today. So it's the difference in benchmarks from 1929 and 1988. We got a licensed surveyor out there, so we have both numbers in the report, and we compare old plans to the new maps.
Okay.
And, and it is a regulatory term, so we had to say ordinary high water, but we got clarity on that.
Right.
So it doesn't affect, it didn't have the effect we thought that it was gonna raise some 3 feet. It was a difference in benchmarks, it's 3.6 feet different from the old benchmark to the new benchmark.
Okay, so in that context, do we have any place where we have a measuring stick or elevation stick that shows where 12 feet is?
There's a gentleman at this table that has one.
I mean, this guy.
At the marina. We have an unofficial, and it has been checked by the surveyor.
Oh,
Yes, and a temporary benchmark left on his property on a concrete slab that shouldn't move, so we could do this again in the future.
okay, how about over by, is there anything closer to Susan's house? Anything down there on that? ramp
No,
area?
there's not a staff gauge, no.
Okay.
And then there is another one at the dam,
Okay, cool.
which is on the 1929 datum, and so
Okay,
we now compare, notes,
sounds
if you
good.
will.
All right.
Okay? All right. And then I don't think ordinary low changes, basically the low water according to the dam is 5. Natural, like dead pool, is 5, so I think 6 is accurate, but that one's not a regulatory thing, that doesn't really affect finished floors and flood zones, so.
Is there anything at Woolhead Lake that shows 39.8 feet?
No, and that one didn't come up, but I would like to get a shot at the weir structure where the water leaves Woking. That one doesn't change as much seasonally, but I have no idea what that elevation is.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to the Mitchells and our surveyor, see if we could get a shot over there.
I think the lake varies by a couple feet.
It does.
Yeah.
Still Cruise goes up and down, 5 or
Yeah.
6, but yeah, Woking's like 2. So, yeah, I didn't think of that until we were all done cleaning up equipment, and I'll get the surveyor back out here. Yeah,
Okay, sounds good.
no, it's a good question. I thought of that when I drove away. But, day late, $1 short. Any other comments on 21? Seeing none, we'll go to 22. We did not have anything in the memo for page 22.
Except for there's one thing that the planning commission, one of the items that they had on there that they approved was a definition for person responsible, because we have that in the code enforcement part of this code.
Ah,
So we added that in, or they
oh,
added
I
that.
gotcha.
Yeah. So there's a definition of person responsible.
Gotcha.
That comes from the code enforcement.
Consistency, yeah, that was the one that, yeah, appreciate that.
I had a comment on parcel. There yet.
Parcel?
I think we skipped that,
Wait, sorry.
page 21.
Oh, sorry, that's on 21, go ahead, Chris.
It says in there parcel and lot are interchangeable, and then at the very end you say C lot. Can we just delete everything and say parcel, C lot? I understand having the duplication so that people
Right.
understand no, that means lot.
But you're right, you change
Saying-
one word in lot, and then they disagree if there's,
Yeah, instead of duplicating the
if
definition.
there's a typo, yeah.
There's a couple other definitions that we have duplicated.
Right, where we just go back and forth.
Yeah. Take a primary, and then we want to have a
We
secondary.
do that
as
on
well.
several others in the beginning too.
Yeah, so lot,
I think lot is the
Yeah,
primary,
we just changed
and then
that.
there's a couple that reference it.
gotcha. Right, we get the simplified version that says lot per ORS 92.192. And yeah, parcel, just change it to say C lot. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Thanks, Chris. Okay, now back to 22. Anything on 22?
I guess I'm looking at recreational vehicle park where it states here,
Wait, that's
plan
23.
on 2 or more recreational vehicles, but we go back here where was it, it stated 4 or more. Is
The other
that,
one was manufactured.
What's that?
The other one was manufactured.
And then at the end it says it's not a recreational vehicle.
oh, okay.
Copy. Distinguish between the two. Yeah. Good. All right. Anything on 22? That is the recreational vehicle. On 23, your speed reading. Do you have anything, Chris? Nothing to, Larry? All right. Page 23. Recreational. Anything else before we get to that? 23, we had plat.
I made the same recommendation for property line adjustment.
Say again?
Same recommendation for property line adjustment, where it's just,
C lot line adjustment.
yeah.
Yeah, just strike everything else, instead of saying also, just say C. Plat, we have a comment, plat has a statutory definition. So should we put the reference to ORS 92.01010? Yeah, that definition of plat, it has a statutory definition in ORS 92.010.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll say per ORS 92.010.
But then also in Rapunzel's,
That's what I was reading, Rapunzel.
Yeah,
she says see also site plan. So should we just put see site plan?
That's what I was wondering, the site, that's what I was looking at, site plan
Well-
is very detailed.
but plat has the definition. Right?
Okay.
So the site plan need to say C plat?
I think that's two different things. One's a definition of, that has some requirements. The other, the site plan, as a city, we can have more requirements on a site plan. We can ask for, like the landscape coverage, things like that.
I'm just saying Rapunzel said C also site plan, so.
Yeah. But I think the definition in ORS is specific to plat. That's got a survey and mapping connotation. So we probably have two, and just put the definition, I would put the definition from the state statute on the plat, and then we could leave site plan, because that has more detail to it. When we talk about actual land development, you get into site plan. If that makes sense.
So we're just adding the definition plat.
The reference, yeah, to ORS
Okay, adding the reference.
92.010, open friend 10.
Okay.
So are we just gonna use the state ORS thing as the definition, or are you leaving the words in?
I think we can just leave the words and add that at the end of it, the tail end of it, because it's so short already, it's just a sentence.
I'm trying to be consistent.
Yeah. Anything else on 23? If not, for 24. Rapunzel?
Yes.
Question, we've got residential care facility and then residential treatment and training home, and they're all defined by ORS 443.400. Do they need to be, are they separate uses, or could they be all lumped together? Since they're all covered by the same state statute.
I think they're separate, they're defined in different subsections.
Okay, okay. So in the details, they would have different nuances, that makes sense. Oh, and they're different sizes, so one can be 6 to 15 individuals, and the other's fewer than 5. 5 or fewer. Never mind. Any other questions on 24? Seeing none, we'll go to 25.
Does riparian corridor, and this is a reference like Oregon statewide planning goal number 5. Is that still the statewide planning goal number 5?
I believe,
Yes.
It is? Okay, fine. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get those things renumbered.
right. I think it's statewide and then Lane County, or is it the city of Eugene? One of them changed them, right? They have like 2 more goals.
The statewide planning goals don't change.
Gotcha. So our numbers align with the state.
Yeah, the ORSs sometimes do change.
Okay, I know when we got the flood map, it's for Lane County, it said cover statewide goal 5 except in Eugene where it's now like 7. They've got some additional goals, I think, on their list. Anything else on 24?
Are we on riparian corridor? I have a different page number than you guys.
Oh.
So that's why I'm asking.
What, say that again?
Just, if we are on riparian corridor
It's
boundary,
on 24.
top of bank would have a couple of spaces in there.
Oh, just, you want the spaces, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. All right, next page, 25 for some of us. Different if you're online. Starts with road/roadway C street. Nothing in the memo for this one. And a shoreland that is by state law, it's the 50 feet from ordinary high water. The riparian zone, same thing. Anything down to sign? We'll go to the next page. 26 for the printed version. There's nothing on the memo. Anything on this page? 26 in print? Nothing over 27. Down to subdivision. Anything?
Is that your survey?
No.
Your survey.
Surveys at the top of mine,
Okay.
the next page. All right, page 28. Subdivision, survey, swale. Down to travel trailer definition that was stricken. Any comments in here? Next page, 29. Urban growth boundary to water-related uses or water-dependent uses. New terms. Any comments? Hearing none, page 30.
Wet bar, unlike is used anywhere else, with all the additional changes that we made. It's redundant.
Gotcha. Because it used to be a carve out from kitchen, and we simplified that.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense, Rapunzel? You okay if we strike wet bar as the new definition since it was part of the kitchen discussion?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. We'll get this under 180 pages if we try. All right, that takes us to the bottom of 30. We have a comment on 31 in the memo. Violation of code. Replace shall with may, that's already in the
I
edit.
was gonna say, it's already done.
Okay, so I think you're good. I think we're covered.
So what's the word that's active, shall or may?
This one, it says may.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yeah, that's the recommendation, to use may.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments on that page? Page 32. We have some new language in blue that I think is more up to date because we now have code enforcement, though we do, and we covered this earlier, we have the word code enforcement officer, that'll just be, what do we decide, code enforcement?
Just code
Just code
enforcement
enforcement.
officer.
Gotcha, okay.
So that needs to be struck in here where it
Yes.
says officer.
Yeah, that was gonna be everywhere, the word search. Okay? Any other comments on 32?
So, yeah, 33, the comment here is about disclosure. Is that 155.14170C?
Yes.
So that would be something to add? Is that what the suggestion is? 'Cause I just have A and B on my copy.
Me too. Yes,
So that would be added, I guess?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
and A, written complaint exception. Yeah, where is that?
I think we changed that to with whatever the code enforcement.
Gotcha, it's already
Yeah.
been, okay.
Yeah.
There you go, there is no A exception section. Okay,
And the only thing that we would need to do on page 33 and A, B, and C, well, just A and B, is to change the person in charge to person responsible, so we can stay consistent with that.
gotcha,
Consistent.
yes.
You took out officer.
So we're adding section C and just changing out officer, right?
Yes, striking the word officer, yeah,
Okay.
The officer.
in more locations.
Then there's a question about 180, a comment that there should be something between 170 and 180.
Yeah,
So what's that, 175?
yeah,
So I would suggest that that be added, and it would just simply say code enforcement could advise that the complaint is not found to be credible.
got ya.
Where were you adding that? Sorry.
175?
At the end of page 34.
Yeah, the memo says there should be a step between .170, which is written complaint, and .180, which is rights of appeal. And that in between, the suggestion is required city notify complaint has not been found to be credible. So it wouldn't go to, you wouldn't have to appeal because it's
So
something.
you're
that-
adding that at the end of 170?
The suggestion is in between 170 and 180, so we could
Its
do
own section?
155.1.4.175. No?
Where did you want it?
Under 170,
So you want it to be number D?
could be number D.
Okay. So we've got C and then D, 170.
I only have an A and B.
Well, we have a C.
C's this in the memo, the suggestion to add C.
So if we could put C and then we could put D and then
Gotcha.
do that last step.
Gotcha. D would be complaint that's found not credible.
So what's C?
C is in the memo here. City would inform complainant that the complaint is public record might be subject to disclosure. So there's some stuff from ORS that we have to add in the memo there. It's in the memo.
I read the memo, but you guys are confusing me as I'm trying to follow.
So that's, the suggestion is that's 170.C, and then the next suggestion is there should be a step between 170 and 80, that would be 170.D. D is in David, Delta.
And this whole page needs to be gone through and just should just say code enforcement.
Right,
instead of
right.
Code enforcement
And I was
officer.
going to suggest that that be added to what's now going to be 170D. It would say code enforcement, could advise as to the, result, which is what it says.
The findings.
I'm finding it
Yeah.
not found to be credible.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense, Lila? Okay. Okay. And that would take us to right of appeal. So I'm down to penalty. Do we have any comments down to there, which is on page 35 for some of it? You on the same page as me?
No, I'm past it.
Oh,
I'm done with that.
you
Sorry,
good?
I'm
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. That would be Division 155.2, Land Use Zone Administration. So these are the sections that use those definitions. Any comments on the sections?
So I think there's a suggestion here to add residential homes to the list under 155.2.1. Maybe that could just go under 220, which was bed and breakfast. No, that's accessory dwelling unit, no.
We can have the first one is land uses, 110.
Right. So she's got a paragraph right above that. It says, we talk about permitted or allowed, we got that.
Okay.
And then there's list must contain residential homes. So I don't see residential homes on the list under 155.2.1.
Well, did we do page 30? Oh, guess we're not on it.
So if we
It's
kind of-
under allowed land uses.
Yeah, it kind of skips
It's
here,
under
we're
41,
skipping sections, it's
41.
kind of out of order, but it says Rapunzel further states, list must contain residential homes.
It's page 41. It says 41 on here.
Okay, well, I'm looking at what would be the title of contents here, the sections.
Yes.
So what I'm wondering is where would residential homes be listed under R1?
It's, they're discussed under allowed land uses.
Oh, did you not want it somewhere else? We're trying to understand the
No,
suggestion.
yeah, so this is the title of that little section, Larry, and when you get to page 41, it spells out what is in
Okay.
110.
Okay, I was just thinking.
And then it
she
says
wanted-
single-family dwellings.
I was thinking that what she said here was list must contain. I was wondering if she needed that in the title of content.
Got, right, no, and it shows up in the long version when you
Okay.
get to the actual
I'm good with
thing.
that.
Yeah.
41 has another list.
There you
on
go.
it.
That's fine, sounds good.
Single-family, or one dwelling unit per lot.
Right, got it,
Yes.
okay.
And were those the phraseology that we got? It's through the state, right? Originally, we said single-family home and multifamily, and they said you can't use that lingo. It's residential versus non-residential. So some of this was just cleanup to agree with the state, or,
Yes, and you'll find out later, there's a reason we switched from single family to residential,
right,
because.
because we couldn't
I'll
discriminate.
just tell you now.
Based on
The
density.
planning commission is proposing to allow ADUs and multifamily housing. So just to use the term single family would not cover those.
It wasn't satisfied,
So
right?
we're gonna say, we're
Okay.
proposing to say residential.
Okay. I remember we got that letter when I was on the planning commission. that Our lingo was inconsistent with, I think, the state. All right, did that answer that, Larry?
Yeah.
Okay. So the section headings were all good? Okay. So we jump ahead had a couple of pages. The next thing on the memo was page 41,
39.
39. Oh, I'm sorry, determination of zone boundaries. Oh, gotcha, that was the comment from before. Yes, the regulatory term is high water. And we have a definition of low water, but shoreline boundary is ordinary high water. So I think we're good. We don't need to change anything, right? Okay.
And in the, sorry,
Go ahead.
in the determination of zone boundaries, another change that was done by the planning commission is on that first paragraph, it says type 1 procedures at section 155.4.
Right.
So yeah, I just want to make sure that that's noted in there.
Gotcha. Yes, mine says type 1.
Okay.
That makes sense. Anything else on 39? We have nothing on the memo on page 40, which is, the only thing on 40 is a strikeout, and then 41. We change the word permitted to allow, and that's where we spell out single family or a single dwelling unit per lot.
Wasn't there a standard in here for allowing like townhomes on a single lot? Is that,
Townhomes was
is
struck
that,
out. In the, what we just passed, townhomes was struck out.
struck it out?
I thought it was, I saw it struck out in here.
Well, we had multifamily dwellings under conditional uses.
Yeah, townhome houses struck out.
The definition. And then we're in R1, which is basic residential, which
Right.
is one unit, 1 acre.
Right.
That's the only thing allowed in R1, basically.
Oh, in R1, okay.
Yes, because we're only in R1. This is
All right,
just
I'm
in the
on same
R1
page.
zone,
Yep.
one single family. And a keeping of ducks up to 4 feet. So Rapunzel, do we have your recommended changes? It said we had to, the list must contain residential home.
So,
Are we good or not?
I'm a little confused as to what Mr. Darnell meant there.
Okay, because we say
It's
one
because
dwelling unit per lot.
It sounds like, does he want us to say one residential home per lot? Or does,
Dwelling's the same thing as home.
Exactly, we're getting, yeah, it's like, pick your word.
yeah, I'm a little confused as to what he meant by that
Me too.
comment. That was Gary's comment.
Okay,
Seems like there's a big push now with these, what they're calling the ADUs, these auxiliary dwelling units,
yeah.
because of
And that's a different question, because we're in R1, so this is about the primary residence. It's R, residential,
that wouldn't be
and the
that.
1 is our minimum lot size. Now, 1 acre, 1 house. And then if you have a primary, you can potentially have an accessory dwelling unit if you can meet setbacks and you have the capacity, but.
So if you look at the actual definition, ORS 197.655, it reads, residential homes shall be permitted use in any residential zone, including a residential zone which allows a single-family dwelling, and B, any commercial zone, etc. So we basically are saying that
Right.
with our language. I don't understand exactly what Mr. Daniel was requesting.
Let's move on.
Right, yeah, because it doesn't provide any new clarity. I'm with you, Larry. I mean, the whole point is it's R1 zoning and you can have
Residential unit.
a dwelling unit on one lot, one unit. So, okay. If we all agree, I mean, that's the intent.
Yeah.
It took us 13 years to get here. If we have to do this again in 13 years, we will. I'm gonna go on to page 42.
Well,
Sorry.
there'd have a bed and breakfast one about
Oh.
41 on here, and I'd like to understand.
Where are you at?
Right here,
The memo.
comments.
Bed and
Oh,
breakfast.
on comments.
Yeah, keep going to the next comment, it's still on 141 and 110A, and I'm trying to find where it said bed and breakfast, I don't see
It was in the sections up above.
Yeah.
Bed and breakfast was stricken. This is another, that's a Gary comment, am I right?
it. Then the
Oh, I
nomenclature is
think-
wrong, because that's not. where it's
Susan,
at.
did you say bed and breakfast?
Yes, we're on bed and
Is it on
breakfast.
page 42?
It's deleted from the,
It's deleted in the sections and then it's stricken under conditional use.
Yes.
But his comment in the memo was,
At 110, so that's why I was looking for it in 110.
Okay.
right,
It's
110A.
not- It's not in 110. So bed and breakfast is, the reference is deleted everywhere because bed and breakfasts are covered under your short-term rental ordinance.
Okay. And his point was, it has its own definition in ORS, and that threw me, because I'm like, okay, it has a definition, but we didn't, it was not part of the residential zoning by right, it's special use permit or a license under short-term rentals. It's covered by the
Yeah,
short-term rental
The planning
ordinance.
commission doesn't deal with it because it's under your permitting
Under
process
SDR.
for short-term
Okay,
rentals.
okay, that makes sense. So it's not an allowed use as residential,
I
it's
understand that, he just had, I was looking
Yes.
for the place, he's got the wrong
Ah,
number, so
understood.
I can't find it.
understood. Okay.
Okay.
And it was under conditional, but we strike it, because it's under short-term rental ordinance, it's got its own permit
I
process.
got that,
Okay.
I was just trying to
Alright.
find it on here, and it wasn't where it was noted.
All right. Anybody else have a question on that one? Okay. So, page 42, conditional uses. Strike bed and breakfast and ADU.
That's been done.
Okay. And then I'm with, is this Rapunzel's comment? Under use is not allowed, do I have a category, use is not allowed? Because if it's not listed and allowed, then don't list it. Because it's not gonna be inclusive, right? We don't list rocket launch pads and prostitution, I mean, okay. So we can just strike the 130, use is not allowed.
Don't need it at all.
If it's not allowed in the allowed, then it's not allowed, period. Okay.
I have a comment from a citizen.
Yep.
I'd read in. I'm not sure what subsection it is, but this is a quote. It says, come on, this isn't a real city. We're rural communities. These issues can be solved between neighbors. Now, I'm not sure what content that was under. I didn't write
Oh,
it down.
gotcha.
So, but it was,
I think, well, I think that was on the, you know, where the people have ducks and rabbits and somebody complains and then they have to, you know, come in front of you guys and beg for forgiveness and all that. I mean, I just think that's.
14 or less,
I just think that's overkill. No, it says, such animals are creating a nuisance, the city council shall have the power and authority to notify the applicant that they must apply for a conditional use permit. The owner shall then immediately be obligated to apply for a conditional use permit and shall stand before the city council in that process as though they had yet acquired the offending small animals and are foul and were seeking permission to do so. I just think that's a little bit.
I think ideally they do so. And
I just think
gets
that's a
to that
little
level.
overbearing. It's like, slap your hand because your chicken crowed and, you know, if somebody doesn't like your, you know, neighbors don't always get along and they can just find something to complain about.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they're, yeah, I just think it's a little ridiculous. No, I think it's a lot ridiculous, actually.
Yeah.
Feel pretty silly bringing your chicken problems in front of the council.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, neighbors should be able to handle that between themselves.
Yeah.
You would think.
Number 4 on page 42.
Yeah.
Oh, that's enough.
The ducks and chickens and yes, and then it says if the neighbor decides they're a nuisance,
Yeah.
you must immediately come to city council. You're right.
We knew it back.
Yeah.
Anybody want to revisit that?
Would that come under a code enforcement issue to be resolved that way?
Yeah, it would. I mean, if you get that complaint, then code enforcement's got to go out and say, is that really a rise to nuisance? You know, somebody says, I heard them, or I smelled them, or I saw them, and I don't like it. Does that rise to nuisance? And I think that would help with that, because we now have somebody that goes out and
I
eyeballs
mean,
it.
I'm sure you gotta go check it out, but I mean, this whole thing about standing in front of you guys.
Yeah,
Can
Yeah,
I
yeah.
keep one chicken, please? Because it's growing and, you know what I mean? It's a little,
Eggs are expensive.
it's a little, it's
Okay.
send the neighbor a chicken dinner.
Yeah.
One less thing to complain about. Yeah. I guess we'll see how often it comes up.
So what's the answer? Are we leaving this paragraph in?
You know, that's up to you guys. I mean, we're not very far past it if you want to revisit it and say,
Well, and Jack, I think that you're just talking about that last sentence, right? That they have to come immediately before the city council.
right,
Yeah.
that you immediately have
Yeah,
to apply for a
seems a
special
little bit-
use permit for your chickens or ducks.
I think we should just strike the last sentence.
And special use permit goes to planning commission first?
I'm sorry?
A special use permit, if they had to do for the ducks or chickens, you got a complaint that says you must immediately apply for special use permit, that goes to planning commission?
Conditional.
Conditional.
Or conditional?
Yes.
Does it go straight to council or does it go to planning commission?
Planning commission.
So yeah, that's quite a process to keep a dozen chickens, to go to planning commission. There's an application and a fee for that, right?
Yes.
And then if it's approved by planning commission, it's referred to council with a recommendation for approval or denial.
Could I just suggest that we change it to, if such animals are creating a nuisance, code enforcement shall have the power and authority to notify the applicant that they must apply for conditional use permit, and then just lop off everything else.
I like it.
Yeah, because I don't like the city council doesn't have the power to do it. We have code enforcement, and
Right.
we have staff.
And they can appeal the code enforcement decisions of the city council, but
Exactly.
it saves you some,
So I would just change that from the city council, just code enforcement shall have the power and authority, and then must apply for a conditional use permit, and then just strike everything after that.
Does that make sense, Lila? You get that? All right.
It.
All right, very good. Quick comment. All right, I'm on page 43. Am I on the right page? And it's past 8 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Is there a logical place to stop?
Page 43.
Which paragraph is that?
We got a motion from the audience. B.
The top of page 43.
Oh, we're just gonna stop at page 42.
We're in 155.2.1.1. 20. We're in the middle of dot 120.
Sounds good.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, voice of reason.
We're not done with our meeting though.
Okay. So, we will close the public hearing for tonight and continue this to
5:20,
5:20, May 20,
16.
6 p.m. And continue this discussion.
I never read that last week, so last Wednesday I actually came here, I thought there was a meeting. I didn't know it was the first and the third Wednesday.
We got through a bunch more pages. Okay. So item 10 was potential review of chapter 154, soil, surface, water management, and erosion. That will be on future. We'll just continue that to the 20th. We can move that to the front if we want to have a brief discussion, because Larry, that chapter includes a more appropriate place to put tree landscape coverage with site plans and improvement plans and permitting.
Okay.
And then that will take us to good of the order. Duke,
No, nothing.
Susan, Rich, Chris, Larry.
Nope.
Okay, then I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Thank you. We will adjourn at 8:13.
Good.
So I really,